Tom, really good to see you. Today, I have an
And
important question. What should I do with my old 401k? And the reason I'm asking is because 41% of people between 2014 and 2016 cashed out at least part of their 401k when leaving a job. Of those people, 85% cashed out the whole thing. So we're going to run through a few options, some better than others. But the first option, Tom, would be that you can simply cash it out.
you sure can. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your money, right? So it's
Mhm.
certainly one of the options. Probably the least advantageous of all the options that you have, in my opinion, because taxes. That's the
Mhm.
big problem that people will have. But any of that money that you're taking out of that plan as a distribution is going to be ordinary income. For a lot of people, that could bump you up into a much higher tax bracket, creating a lot more taxes than you may necessarily have to pay. And then if you're under 59 and a half, you could also be on the hook for that 10% early withdrawal penalty. So
10%.
it's not the optimal option. In these economic times, I certainly understand why people may need to do it. But I think there's better ways, if you will, to really get to the same place. And we'll
Mhm.
be talking about some of those
Mhm.
other options in just a
Mhm.
second.
Also lose that compounding, which I know that's the
Right, the
seventh wonder of
compounding
the
interest
world.
that you have
Yep,
in the tax deferral.
yep.
Exactly.
All right, the second option would be that you could simply leave it with your old employer.
Absolutely. You're allowed to do that. They can't force you to take it out. One of the advantages to leaving it there is creditor protection.
Mm,
Assets from a 401k plan have greater creditor protection than, say, assets that might be in just a traditional IRA or in a Roth IRA. So that's something that if you are afraid or you may think that you're going to be in a lawsuit or you're in a lawsuit, then leaving those assets there makes a lot of sense. Also, you may have great options like a loan provision or investment options that you're really happy with.
mhm.
So things to think about if you're going to leave them there. Again, not the most optimal option, but it's definitely more advantageous than the one that we just spoke about,
Yeah,
which
then
is cashing
cashing
it
out.
out.
All right, the third option would be to roll the old 401k into your new employer's plan.
Right. Again, things to think about. Hey, are my investment options in my new plan better? Uh, do I, you'll get the same tax, or I'm sorry, creditor protection in your new plan. So those are things to think about. So am I going to get a loan capability that maybe I didn't have in my old employer plan? So you have to take a look at what's available, what's not available, put them side by side and see which one's going to be best for you.
Right.
Again, for a lot of people, it could make a lot of sense to do that. They like keeping their eggs in one basket. It's easy for them to be able to just look at one statement as opposed to multiple statements. Maybe, again, not optimal, but better than maybe choice one and choice two.
Also, leaving it behind, there's always a chance you forget about it. I mean, I've read so much about forgotten 401ks. And then, Tommy, I just learned 30% of people change jobs in 2022. So, as often as we're moving from job to job,
Right.
there could be a lot of old 401ks left behind.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, people stay in jobs nowadays for 5 to 7 years, and then they're
Right.
moving on somewhere else. I've run into cases where I've had clients with 4 and 5 different 401k plans, and you're absolutely right. You could forget about them. You can misplace statements. I had a client just recently in his 60s or late 60s who still had his deceased dad as a beneficiary because he totally forgot about it.
Wow.
So that's some of the problems
Right.
when you have all these multiple accounts.
Right. All right. Then the last option, which I'm assuming might be your favorite, roll the 401k into an IRA.
Yeah, I mean, this not just my favorite, but I think the most optimal for the consumer, right?
Hmm.
Because now you're really totally in control of those assets that you have. They're under your umbrella. You're getting that compounding. Hopefully, if your portfolio is growing, you're getting that compounding interest. You don't have the loan capacity, but you have basically the world of investment options at your feet. So you could probably do more, and you could probably do better with it. For those who are self-investors, then again, you have a lot more options that you can personally pick from. And then if you're using advisors like myself or other professionals, you can take advantage of the opportunities that they have that the ordinary consumer may not be able to get at.
Right. Advanced strategies other than the traditional target date fund, which is probably how most of us design our 401ks, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, Tom, if somebody wants to talk to you about any of these options that we've talked through, or if they have an old 401k, what's the best way to reach you?
So either call or emails. Our email address. Oh, you got the phone number up there. The
I got them
phone
both.
number is 973-394-0623. The email address, tjoconnell@internationalfinancial.com. If you go to our website, www.internationalfinancial.com, we also have a white paper on there describing what your options are and talking about 401k versus IRA. So some more informational pieces right there on the website that people can read on their own.
Yes, a lot of good information there. Tom, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Sharon. Great to see you again.
You too.